find yourself at home every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday night with no plans? Does it take you over an hour to just get 11 likes on Instagram? Do you have to find memes all by yourself because nobody tags you in them? Well then, you may need help finding friends. Luckily, I'm bringing you this video today on how to do so. I looked up a very, very trusted source, WikiHow of course, and they have some surefire tips that are guaranteed to help you find friends, or your 5 cents from ad revenue back. Tip number 1, talk to people. Yeah, if only it was that easy. What's up guys, it's Naomi, and today I am bringing you a video on how to make friends easily. Now obviously this isn't guaranteed and everything I said before was a complete joke, just gotta say that. But I do feel like this is an important topic and a question that probably most of us have had one time or another in our lives. Whether you're looking to make friends at school, in your sports teams, at church, volunteer organizations, whatever you do with your spare time. Obviously talking to someone is the way to do that. But if you're like me, then sometimes you don't know what to say, like, hi. Yeah, small talk, not the best at it. And while WikiHow may not be the most useful site, I did find like a very helpful article on another website, personalexcellence.co, and the article is how to make small talk with anyone in 5 easy steps. So we're gonna go through these 5 tips, which I think will actually work. Let's get into it. Hey, excuse me, I have a question. Do you know what $69.99 plus 13% take away 20% because they're on sale is? No? Is that no? Questions I feel are definitely like the easiest way to go. It's pretty easy to come up with one. You can ask, hey, where'd you get your shirt? Or do you know what time it is? Do you know what the weather's like outside? There's a billion questions. But if you can't think of any on the spot, some go-to ones are, what do you do for work? People love talking about themselves or what they do for their job. Or obviously if you're hanging out with a younger crowd, you can ask, what school do you go to? What are you studying in school? What's your major? If you're at an event like a party or a business function or anything like that, you could simply ask the person, so what brought you here? What are you doing here? Why did you decide to come? And if you're actually having a conversation with somebody you know or you've met before, you can kind of ask, what have you been up to? What are your plans for the weekend? Talking either about the past or the future. Now, some important notes that the author shared in this article includes when you ask questions to make sure that you're prepared to share yourself. If it's just gonna be you like blurting out like 20 different questions to this person, it'll kind of seem like an interview or interrogation even. So, you know, when they reply with what they're doing for the weekend, maybe kind of include some stuff on what you're doing, and then that can maybe lead into another question. Like, don't just be like, oh, okay, cool. So like, how is your Aunt Sharon doing? Like, it doesn't really work like that. The second tip she gives is to learn to just take a hint and move on if the person is giving lukewarm responses. Because, I mean, as awesome as you are, not everyone is going to want to talk to you or want to be your friend. That is the harsh reality of life. So sometimes you might be asking questions and they'll look disinterested or give you like one-word answers, and that is definitely a hint to just move on to the next person. Sorry, I think you dropped this. Oh, you can keep it. Who doesn't love being complimented? Like when a stranger comes up to you and says, I like your shirt, I feel like that means so much more than when your friend says it, because you feel like your friend is saying it just because they have to, because they're your friend. But you know that stranger is probably pretty genuine about that compliment. So compliments are a great way to break the ice or just start a conversation with someone. You know, if you're in an elevator with someone who looks interesting, you could be like, oh my gosh, I love your shoes, where'd you get them from? Or you're at the bar and you're walking across some guy and you're like, hey, yeah, I don't know what to say. But luckily this isn't a how to flirt video. Now obviously I'm not saying to turn into some like two-faced person, just like giving every single person compliments when you don't mean it. Try to keep them genuine and real, so don't compliment someone's dress if you secretly actually hate it. That's not really a good way to start a friendship.
It's safe to say that the sale is a success. Now back to Rose and Janet in the newsroom.
Now you may be wondering, what does this even mean? It's basically pulling from things that you're surrounded with, whether it's an object or a person. So what this means is if you're at work is a good subject to talk about, whether it's an employee, like obviously good stuff, I'm not saying start gossiping with everyone, or a meeting, or just a project that's going on in the workplace. So you could be like, hey, have you heard about Lucy's idea for Project X? Or if you're at an event, you could talk about, you know, the traffic that it took you to get there. Like, oh my gosh, was traffic just as bad? It took me like 20 minutes to get here. If you're at a talk or a conference, you could discuss the speaker, the topics that were mentioned. There's lots to go off from there.
Hey, excuse me. Do you mind getting me this in a small, please? Yeah, thanks. There you go. Thank you so much. Oh, no worries. And by the way, like, can I like add you on Facebook? Or do you have like Instagram or something? Like, I feel like we really had a connection. I'm okay. No, thank you. That's okay. Okay.
Believe it or not, people actually do genuinely like to help others. Helping makes people feel important and that they have value and purpose. This is something that would definitely be very valuable in like school or at the workplace, because it gives you a chance to kind of foster a relationship with someone. Like you could ask for help on a project or a homework assignment, and obviously don't mooch off people, like don't use someone, but like try to, you know, again, make sure that you're fostering a relationship out of it. So offer your own advice, try to share your own ideas and stuff like that, instead of just, I don't know, like asking to copy off someone's work or something. So some examples include talking about projects that you're working on. So you go up to someone and be like, I've been thinking about something for the past couple of days and I really need a new perspective. What do you think? And another example could be like, I'm planning on doing this, but I have either option A or B. Which one would you choose? So you don't have to full out be like, hey, can you help me write an entire essay? But just opinions and advice are a great start.
Honestly, I have this sweater at home and it's the best thing I've ever bought in my life. I have it in blue, purple, like this color would look so great on you.
Now this is definitely the opposite of the first, which is to ask questions, where you're kind of seeking information from the other person, whereas this tip is to willingly give out information about yourself. Now this method is useful in two situations. One where the person seems very shy or socially awkward. It kind of takes the tension and the focus off of them for a while things kind of easen up and they begin to get a bit more comfortable with you. And second, this is also a good follow-up or backup to the first when the person hasn't been very responsive to your questions. So this kind of puts that person in the power position of asking questions and making you more vulnerable by answering them and being open to judgment. So hopefully that person kind of sees you opening up and that opens them up to the idea of sharing more with you. So that brings us to the end of this list and the end of this video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed watching this and hearing about these tips. I know that they were pretty useful for me. I've yet to test them out, but I feel quite confident that they'll work. I mean, obviously it takes time, effort, and practice, and definitely building up your confidence. Like, it's not easy to walk up to a stranger and just start asking them questions or asking even for help and advice. But sometimes, you know, you just have to be that person to make the first move, because if you don't and that person doesn't, who knows what kind of friendship you're missing out on. So thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. I will link the complete article down below in the description box if you wanted to read all the details, because obviously I didn't say every single thing. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye. So don't let this be our final song.